Oh, let's go. What is up, dudes and lady dudes? Welcome back to Just Nutz, guys. I was actually going to make a video more for Abyss, kind of like a follow-up video to the news we got last night. And as I was making it, finishing up that video, which I guess I'll probably upload tomorrow, maybe, we got Dawn of Majesty first reveals. We have the cover card here, which is giving me some Stardust kind of vibes. I don't know. Like, I don't know. This is just the cover. We're going to get into it. They just have artwork and text, which is all we really care about, to be honest. So let's get into it. Okay. Starting off here, we have Wish Converging Dragon. This is a light dragon tuner. Okay. Level 100. You can only special summon him once per turn. He cannot be used for a synchro material except for the synchro summon of a majestic monster. Okay, so specifically Majestics. Interesting. This card's name becomes Majestic Dragon while on the field or in the graveyard. Well, alright. When you draw this card, you can reveal it, special summon it from your hand, then, if you control level 8 or higher dragon synchro monster, you can special summon one level 1 dragon monster from your deck. Okay, so interesting card. Hopefully we'll see some kind of effect that allows you to stack this card and then draw it another way. Just open up the capabilities of being able to do this freely and not have to just luck into this as a top deck, because if you draw this hard the hard way, just in your hand, it doesn't seem like it's going to be very good. But yeah, definitely an interesting card. And pulled another monster out of the deck, but you do already have to have a level 8 dragon synchro, so we will see on that. Next up, we have Stardust Synchron. Straight up just a Stardust Synchro monster. Okay. Or Synchron, I guess. Light Machine. A machine, interesting. It's a tuner. And it has 1500 attack, 1000 defense, and both of its effects are hard once per turns. If this card is in your hand or graveyard, you contribute a monster. Any monster, Lair of Darkness. You cannot special summon monsters for the extra deck for the rest of this turn, except for synchro monsters. Also, special summon this card, but banish it when it leaves the field. Not bad, honestly. Hand or graveyard, so it jumps out of the hand, jumps out of the grave. You do have to give up a monster to get it, which isn't always the best, but okay, still interesting. It's a tuner that's like extends, which is something we don't see all that often. A tuner that extends itself onto the field. Also, if this card is normal summon or special summon, you can add a spell or trap that specifically lists Stardust Dragon in its text from your deck to the hand. Now that is what I like to see, because the first effect was like, okay, give up a monster to get a monster, but then it gets you a search, and that, my friends, is a +1. So I'm about that. Yeah, that's a good card, straight up. It does lock you into synchro, so there's no like XZing this off so he won't get banished or anything like that. But still, based off the strategy, you probably want to get synchroing, so no complaints there whatsoever. Next up here, we have Stardust Trail. This is a light dragon effect monster. She's a dragon? But what? Okay. 500 attack, 2000 defense, so a nice booty. And you can only use both of her effects hard once per turns. First effect reads, if this card is in your hand or grave, and a monster you control is tributed, special summon this card, but banish it when it leaves the field. Okay, so maybe if you tribute something by this guy, whether he's cute, I didn't even mention that. That's a cute card, I like that. And a lot of people, she's going to be a waifu for a lot of people, by the way. So yeah, you tribute something like with his effect to summon her out. Okay. Also, if a Warrior Synchron or Stardust Synchro monster is special summoned using this card as material, you can special summon a Stardust token. And it's just a level 1 light 0/0 dragon monster. Okay. Just a little bit of extendability there. Gets you an extra monster on field. Jumps on the board. I don't like that. It seems, I mean, just off the top of my head, I don't know that much about the Majestic and like Stardust like cards. I don't know how many of them tribute monsters. We obviously have this guy now, which is awesome. I don't know about how many more there are, so I wonder how good her extendability really is, but I guess we will find out more. Next up, we have Shooting Majestic Star Dragon. It's a Wind Dragon Synchro. Level 11, 4000 attack, 3300 defense. It requires Majestic Dragon plus one or more non-tutor monsters, including a Dragon Synchro monster. Okay, so at the bare minimum, it needs Majestic plus a Dragon Synchro. So if you just have like a level 1 Dragon Synchro, you could just use like or not a level 1, a level 10 Dragon Synchro, you could just summon this and go into this guy. Okay, that's not the worst. That's not the worst. I thought it was going to require like a tuner plus like a Synchro and then another monster, but that's not so bad actually. Its effects read: once per turn, you can negate the effects of one effect monster your opponent controls. Okay, not a quick effect, but okay, not a bad card, not a bad effect there. Just mitigating your opponent's board. Second effect: for each Stardust Dragon and each Synchro monster that specifically lists that card in its text in your graveyard, this card can make one additional attack during the battle phase. That's actually very strong because he's 4,000, so you could literally just have Stardust Dragon engrave and he can attack twice. That represents 8,000 damage on board. And if you had another Synchro monster too, he gets 3 attacks. If your opponent has a monster, it does not matter. You're going to kill them. Okay. And the third effect: once per turn, if your opponent activates a card or effect, just any card or effect, quick effect, you can banish this card until the end phase. And if you do, negate the activation. And if you do, banish that card. Now that is solid. Your guy tags out while negating something at the same time. I like that a lot because we've seen Stardust Dragon's effect kind of get power crept out of Yu-Gi-Oh, right? Like negates only something that destroys, and then like the comeback part is really nice because he doesn't just negate something and then you've used his negate and now he's just kind of sitting there to see if your opponent can play through him. Now he negates something, leaves the field, and then is going to come back. So he leaves the field, so your opponent won't even have a chance to like remove him otherwise, which means even if they're able to play through the rest of your disruptions, he still comes back no matter what. So it's like Purple Nightfall, but like he negates stuff. Very, very cool. And I love that it responds to anything, because there's no threat of your opponent like outing him by walking over him. He's 4,000. So very, very powerful card. I like him a lot. I wonder how easy it is to make him though. Next up here we have some spells and traps, it appears. This, I'm assuming most of these are going to be searchable off of our Dragon Boy, by the way, so keep that in mind. This is Arriving Miracle. It's a continuous spell. When this card resolves, you can place one level 1 Dragon monster from your hand or deck on top of the deck. What did I motherfucking tell you? Okay. Second effect: Stardust Dragon and Synchro monsters that specifically list that card in their text on the field cannot be returned to the extra deck. Interesting. Wow. That's really interesting. So that's specifically like protection from like bouncing. Your opponent cannot bounce your extra deck monsters. That's a really interesting protection effect. Wow. Okay. I mean, I don't think it's the most relevant thing in the world, but considering this is going to be like the bonus effect for the card, not the meat and potatoes of the card, I'll take it. That just says no to like a certain kind of removal, so I'm about it for sure. One of the best kind of removals, by the way, for extra deck cards for sure. All right. Third effect: if a Synchro monster is special summoned, any Synchro monster, you can apply one of these effects. Also, you can apply the same effect of Arriving Miracle. Wait, you cannot apply the same effect of Arriving Miracle again for the rest of the turn. So you pick one. It's either going to draw one card, maybe the guy that you're going to stack on top of your deck that says when he's drawn off the top of your deck, he can summon himself, and then summon another level 1 Dragon Tuner from deck. Or level 1 Dragon monster. Pretty cool. Or you can special summon a tuner monster from your hand. Also pretty good. I mean, I could summon this guy out to get you another search on your opponent's turn. Summon this guy out if he's already in your hand, just kind of get him onto the field. Sure, I'm about it. This card seems nice, and it's searchable off of this guy. So very, 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 very nice. I like those a lot. Next up here we have Stardust Illuminate. This is a normal spell. You can only use this card's first and second effects once per turn. The effect reads: send one Stardust monster from your deck to the graveyard. Or if you control Stardust Dragon or a Synchro monster that lists Stardust Dragon in its text, you can special summon that monster instead. Whoa! Okay, so Foolish Burial, a Stardust monster, like your guy that summons himself from the grave. Or if you just already have Stardust or another Stardust-like monster engraved, just E-Telly. Wow, okay. Second effect: you can banish this card from grave, then target a Stardust monster you control, increase or decrease level by 1 until the end of the turn. That could be very, very, very important. Like I said, with this guy, all you need is a level 10 Dragon Synchro, and then like a level 1 tuner. And so Stardust is 8, so that's at least 1 level there. It's not 2. 2 would have been really nice, but I don't think it's bad regardless. That could definitely come up. I like that a lot. I mean, just cards in general, we've been seeing this with spells and traps in Yu-Gi-Oh! Konami's been like, oh, well, like, this card's not necessarily more powerful than other cards, so let's just give it a little tiny graveyard effect to make it just a little bit better. That'll work. Next up, we have Majestic Absorption. This is another normal spell. You can only activate it once per turn. It says target one Stardust Dragon or a Synchro Monster that lists it in its text you control and activate one of these effects. Equip one face-up monster your opponent controls to that target. Okay, that's a non-targeting, non-destruction removal, by the way. Right? Yeah, just equip. Okay, just steal it. Nice. That target can attack directly this turn. Fine, I guess it could come up, but maybe like the big guy being 4,000, give with double attacks, right? Make him attack directly. That could come up, actually. And the third effect, each time that target destroys an opponent's monster by battle this turn, inflict damage to your opponent equal to the destroyed monster's original attack. I don't hate it. Like, okay, I don't think this card's crazy, but it is searchable off of the little Stardust guy, so like technically if you were like going second, this could be pretty good. The only thing I don't like is that for this card to even be activatable in the first place, you either need to have Stardust itself or a monster that lists Stardust in its text already on the field. So you would have had to already play the game a little bit just to make this card activatable. I wish it just said target at any Stardust monster you control. That way you could just summon just any of the other like little Stardust monsters to still trigger this card. I don't know. It's interesting. It could be a one-off, but I don't think it's a bad card. I just think it requires you to already have gotten somewhere already. So, all right, cool. And then we move to the last card here, which is a continuous trap. Majestic Mirage. Very cool. Love the artwork on all of these cards, by the way. I love yusei, by the way. 5Ds. I mean, listen, original Duel Monster is clean, but like 5Ds is clean. I did like GX when I was a kid. I'm getting off topic here. 5Ds is clean. Like Stardust Dragon's clean. Let's keep going. If a face-up Stardust Dragon or Dragons or Synchro Monsters that list that card in its text you control leaves the field to activate its own effect or by its effect, you can apply one of these effects. Also, you cannot apply the same effect of Majestic Mirage again for the rest of this turn. The first effect says special summon one of those monsters. So if you used like Stardust to like negate an effect that destroys something, or the new big guy that negates any card and leaves the field, you can summon him back. Which, wait, hold on. It is not a hard once per turn. It seems to be a soft once per turn, so you could literally negate something, and because he left the field, you could summon him back, and he would just have another negate. Omni Negate. Very, very cool. Okay, so give yourself another Omni Negate if you have that guy. Second effect, to banish one monster your opponent controls or in their graveyard. Wow. Okay, that's just non-targeting, non-destruction negation, banishment from field or grave. That's very interesting. And the third effect says all damage you take this turn is halved. Okay, not the craziest thing in the world, but I guess if you're going to use their effect to like leave the field, this does guarantee you. And you know, like if you brought them back, that your opponent would have a way to out them or something. This would give you a guaranteed, like, okay, I just want to live this turn. Just let me live this turn. I'll get my monster back on end phase, and then we go to town. Not terrible. At the end of this card, I think it kind of has a similar... My only gripe with this card is similar to this card, right? You have to already not only control Stardust or one of the synchros that listed in its text, which would be fine because if this is turn one, you get to set him up, the big guy, the new big guy, that's an Omni Negate, then set up this card, which is now a banishment, right? You get to trigger him to negate something and then use this card to banish something or summon him back for another Omni Negate. But it also needs to, it only triggers when your opponent uses their own effect and it resolves to make them leave the field. It's kind of like, I don't think it's necessarily hard for the deck to do. I just think it's kind of like best case scenario. Oh, best case scenario, my opponent has nothing to like respond to me with. No forbidden droplet, which will just stop you. You don't banish his cost, so they can just stop you with droplet. Dark Ruler no more. You can't even respond with them. So like to them, so like, okay, done there. Like, you know what I mean? Like, I don't know. Like, that just seems a little bit best case scenario. But I do think it's a decent card. Could still be a one-of. It's still searchable at the end of the day. So if you already had combo, you could just grab this as just extra power to your board. So I don't hate it at the end of the day. I just think it's a little specific, same thing as this card. But yeah, I think overall, very, very cool. I'm very, very interested. I mean, When Master Roll 5 came around, a lot of people did not think synchros were going to be lit. They very much were lit. We still have Halki Fibrax, which I guess you would have to go into before you use Stardust Synchron, but that could be okay if you go into him before, and then set you up into some synchro combos. I think the potential is there. I think especially with this boss monster, if you could just get to this guy, you could be in a pretty good spot, and especially with stuff like Hulk being able to just pull a guy like this straight out of the deck. That could be pretty choice, because all you need to do is make a level 10 Dragon Synchro and you can at least make this guy. So I'm very curious to see where that might lead. This guy might be a generic disruption that people like, but I'm still curious to see. I don't know. I don't know this archetype. I don't know what's already out that makes this deck like better. I know like Starlight Road, I think, is actually a pretty cool card that people have like teched in over the years, but I don't know. We just got to see. I'm going to end it off here, though. Thank you so much for watching, as always. Let me know in the comment section down below, please, what are your thoughts on these cards? I am not specifically a Stardust / Majestic fanboy all the way. I think they're cool. I've always thought they were dope. I knew they weren't very good over the last couple of years. They've just been power crept so much. I'm very curious to people who know more about this whole lore and archetype, how good these cards are, and if this actually has like legit potential. It seems like there is. They seem like they have pretty cool combo ability here, but I want to hear from you guys. Let me know down below. Like I said, other than that, thank you so much for watching, as always, guys. Subscribe to the channel if you want to see more stuff from me in the future, and this is just the beginning. I mean, this is just the first reveals for Dawn of Majesty. So, you know, how many was this? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. 8 cards. We got 72 more in the next probably 2 months, and I can't wait. So stay tuned if you want to see more of that from me in the future, and I'll catch you in the next video, guys. Thank you. Peace.